Right now on IUSTV News, an Indianapolis man charged with selling fentanyl resulting in 1 death.
And a major car crash causes several injuries, what we now know and how it happened.
But first, a global healthcare company is laying off hundreds of employees. We'll tell you what that means for Bloomington.
And it might be cold now, but temperatures are slowly climbing. We've got some sun and potentially some rain on the way. I'll tell you what you need to know coming up.
After a series of issues revolving around manufacturing and performance, Novo Nordisk is making major employee changes. Thanks for joining us. I'm Maya Monsalve.
And I'm Austin Niehoff. The major global healthcare company has announced a significant amount of layoffs set to occur next month at their Bloomington location. Let's take a closer look. The company says about 400 employees will be laid off at the beginning of May. Novo Nordisk says the decision comes as competition in the drug industry continues to grow worldwide. The company is best known for its weight loss and diabetes drugs like Ozempic and Wegovy. Hundreds of workers will be losing their jobs in the coming weeks, leaving many with uncertainty about what comes next.
6 people are in the hospital after a traffic crash on I-69. Police responded to a rollover crash near mile marker 107 near Bloomington last week. A 2025 Ford Explorer left the highway, went into the median, and rolled over. The driver and passengers were taken to IU Health Bloomington, and 1 child was taken to the Riley Hospital for Children in Indianapolis soon after. The conditions of those involved have not yet been released, and the investigation is still ongoing.
You may want to pay extra attention to how you drive this week. Officers throughout Indiana have been closely watching drivers who are speeding or violating the state's hands-free law, which prohibits drivers from holding a handheld mobile device while driving. These increased patrols are a part of the yearly Safer Roads campaign, which is partnered with the Indiana Criminal Justice Institute. Officers encourage drivers to put their phone down, watch speed limits, and keep a safe distance between vehicles.
An Indy man was charged with selling fentanyl that caused a Carmel's man's death. 51-year-old Kendall Stott is behind bars for being the supplier to 31-year-old Michael Lee Kelleher. Fatal overdose. Officers found fentanyl and a backpack of other narcotics in Stott's home. Stott will be beginning trial on June 8th and could face up to 40 years in jail.
Indianapolis was buzzing with events this past weekend, and our Elena Przinski was at Swish, an immersive art festival which celebrates college basketball. Elena?
Along with the Final Four, Indianapolis hosted Swish, a citywide arts and culture festival here at the Epicurean Market. This immersive experience features over 200 vendors that bring live music, dance, art, and food from all over the world. The Epicurean Market focuses on supporting local immigrants and small businesses.
So what you'll see when you go through is you'll get exposed to stuff that maybe you may not have otherwise, especially if you grew up in a cornfield somewhere in Indianapolis or Indiana. And I think that when you talk about having a multicultural city like Indianapolis, being exposed to stuff that you may not have otherwise been exposed to is really important.
This market demonstrates how, while sports are exciting, art and culture are just as important.
It's good to keep the arts and cultures alive in the community. I think we need to pay more respect to it. It's how we kind of grow as humanity. We grow through the arts, and even though basketball or sports teaches a lot of life lessons, arts can also teach a lot about life too.
And this festival cultivates community like no other.
Our mission is to kind of connect people together and to get people away from their phones and connect people with other people and create a ritual around community.
This event highlights what Indianapolis really brings to the table.
There's quality here that I would not think I would otherwise find, because all I hear about Indianapolis is how bad the potholes are, but that's not the true story of Indianapolis. It's really just the people who are here.
For IUSTV, I'm Elena Przinski.
Thanks, Elena. For more events like this, visit indyarts.org to see what is coming up in your area.
The ongoing Artemis II mission has now reached new heights, with the crew setting the record for furthest space flight in human history. The 4-person crew aboard the test flight made history at 12:56 p.m. Central Time on Monday, traveling 248,655 miles from Earth, passing the record set by Apollo 13 back in 1970. The trip started back on April 1st, and the crew is projected to come back to Earth on April 10th, after a historic flyby of the moon. All right, well, let's turn to weather now. It was cold today, it was freezing today, but it was kind of warm yesterday. So with this 180 every day, what can you tell us, Jason?
All right, guys, thank you. So for now, we got cold temperatures, as you can see. High 40s, low 50s. But guys, I got good news. Don't worry. Right now here in Bloomington, we got 50 degrees. Up around Indiana right now, Bloomfield 52, Brookville 48. High 40s, low 50s, like I said. Overnight temperatures tonight, you can look in the high 40s, and it's going to be a dip right here, 46, 41. And if you're all the way up at 3 a.m., night owls, 39 degrees. Morning dog walk, it's going to be a cold one, 37, 36, 37, all the way up to 8 a.m. So you make sure you want to grab that big jacket for your morning dog walk. Coming up, we got more sun on the way, like I said. Warmer temperatures, stay tuned for that. And we got some possible showers maybe at the end of the week. Guys, back to you.
Still ahead, the IU First Nations and Cultural Center hosted their 13th annual powwow this past weekend, and IUSTV got an inside look.
Plus, a woman was found dead in a house fire in Monroe County just south of Bloomington, what we know so far.
And later, a teenager in Jennings County convicted of rape. We've got all of this and more right after the break.
Indiana University hosted its annual powwow this weekend, a social gathering rooted in Native tradition.
The event centers on community with dance, music, and culture all playing a role.
Our Mara Nicholson has a story. Mara?
That's right, guys. The annual powwow took place at Wilkinson's Hall, offering a culturally enriching experience for those in attendance. While many, including myself, were able to take it in as bystanders, participants say the event is rooted in community, created by and for Native communities.
Inside the powwow, every step is shared, and every beat brings people together.
You're here to have a good time, see your friends, visit.
They create space for both celebration and cultural exchange.
I think it's awesome seeing a powwow in somewhere that I haven't been or that I'm not familiar with.
While powwows follow shared traditions, styles of dance, music, and regalia can vary by region.
You go out west and you'll see they do it completely different from us over here.
Despite those differences, the purpose remains the same, preserving and passing down culture.
It means resiliency, it means that we're still here, it means that we're not extinct yet.
That preservation often happens through family, where tradition and regalia are passed down over time.
Like a lot of this stuff is my dad's from a long time ago. This is over 100 years old.
From singing to dancing, every part of the powwow has meaning. And participants say the event like this helps educate the community while also celebrating their culture.
Go sit down.
For many participants, that visibility is just as important as the gathering itself.
We're still here. I want everyone to know that we're still here.
A tradition that continues to connect communities across generations.
This year marked the 13th annual powwow at Indiana University, and organizers hope even more people will come out to experience it in years to come. Back to you, Maya and Austin.
An elderly woman was found dead in a house on a house fire last Saturday afternoon in southern Bloomington. On March 28th, a call reported a fire at 7000 South Strain Ridge Road. Firefighters did their best to put out the fire, but were unfortunately not able to save the life of 86-year-old Betty Souders, who was already dead inside. Police say they do not believe there was any foul play. There's not been any updates yet, but the police have filed for an autopsy.
16-year-old teen is found guilty for raping a 7-year-old nonverbal autistic boy on a school bus. Landon Doughty was convicted on all 12 counts, including 4 counts of rape, after a 2-day trial in Jennings County. Surveillance video from the bus showed at least 14 incidents over several weeks last spring. Doughty, who was tried as an adult, is set to be sentenced on April 27th. The law firm Wagner Reese LLP has since filed a federal lawsuit against the school corporation on behalf of the victim's family.
For IU student news, on April 1st and 2nd, there were 6 separate reports of electric scooter thefts on campus. IUPD received a description of one suspect in connection to the final theft. A tall, thin, white man wearing a graphic hoodie, ball cap, and blue jeans. He was accompanied by a white female with a heavier build and dark hair, wearing black hoodie and white pants.
It's really inhibited my mobility, and I miss my scooter dearly. I didn't realize how big of an effect it has on my day-to-day life.
If you have information that could help, call IUPD at 812-855-4111. Well, Jason's back at the desk now. Jason, can you tell us a little bit more about the weather coming up this week?
Yeah, guys, like I said today, it was going to be really cold, colder temperatures, but I said good news was on the way. We got some high temperatures coming later this week. I love the warm weather, right?
Yes.
All right, let's go take a look at what we got for Thursday. Like we said, good news, everybody. We're going to get up all the way up to 73 degrees by the end of your day on Thursday. We're going to start high in the upper 60s for their Thursday's highs. If we look around Indiana right here, 73 in Bloomington, 73, 74, 75, all the way around. You want to go for a walk. You want to walk to class. Don't take the bus, kids. Don't take the bus. Anyway, 7-day forecast, we look over here. Like we said, other than today, good news. We're going to get high up in the 68 range, 73, 67, 69, 77, 77 to close out your week. It is going to be a great week all around weather-wise, most likely.
That's so great. You are the bearer of good news this time.
Amazing.
I'm scared for that rain a little bit, but I'll take it for the 77 at the end of the week.
Keeping the umbrella just in case in the car.
Yes.
We got to have that ready.
Always.
Unfortunately. All right, well, thanks, Jason.
Next in sports, 2 national champions have been crowned. The NHL playoff race heats up and the MLB season is off and running with early storylines taking shape. Our Audrey Lash is breaking down all things college basketball, hockey, and MLB when we come back.
A champion has been crowned in college basketball, with UCLA making history on the women's side and Michigan on top in the men's game. Meanwhile, the NHL playoff race is heating up as teams battle for position. And on the diamond, the MLB season is off and running with early stories already making headlines. Hello and welcome to sports. I'm Audrey Lash. In college basketball, 2 champions have been crowned. On the women's side, UCLA made history winning its first ever national championship in dominating fashion, taking down South Carolina 79-51. The 28-point win marks the 3rd largest margin in women's title game and gives the Big Ten its first women's champion since 1999. On the men's side, Michigan is back on top at Lucas Oil Stadium, winning its 2nd national championship in program history, its first since 1989. And giving the Big Ten its first men's championship since 2000, ending a 26-year losing streak. The Wolverines took down UConn in the title game with a starting lineup made entirely of transfers, highlighting the impact of the modern-day transfer portal. During the halftime break, the 1976 Indiana Hoosiers were showcased as the last men's team to complete a perfect season 50 years ago, when they went 32-0 on their way to a national title. Shifting over to the ice, the push for the Stanley Cup playoffs is heating up in a big way. In the Eastern Conference, the Boston Bruins continue to hold on to a crucial wild card spot, but right behind them, the Detroit Red Wings and Washington Capitals are locked in a tight battle, with every game carrying playoff implications. Meanwhile, teams like the Philadelphia Flyers are surging at just the right time, making a late season push to keep their postseason hopes alive. And out west, while some teams are fighting for possession, my personal favorite team, the San Jose Sharks, are building for what comes next. With top prospects 19-year-old Macklin Celebrini leading a youth movement that could shape the future of the franchise. With just a handful of games remaining, the margin for error is gone, and the race for the Stanley Cup playoffs is only getting more intense. Finally, on the diamond, the MLB season is just getting started. But early storylines are already beginning to take shape. In the American League, the New York Yankees are off to a hot start, with Team USA World Baseball Classic captain Aaron Judge leading the way at the plate. Meanwhile, in the National League, the Los Angeles Dodgers, coming off a World Series title,
are off to a strong 7-2 start and once again look like the team to beat, with Shohei Ohtani continuing to shine. And one of the most incredible moments so far this season came from the Los Angeles Angels, where outfielder Joe Adell robbed 3 home runs in a single game. That is crazy. This is a performance that many are calling one of the best defensive games in MLB history. And while it's still early, fans are already getting a glimpse of who could make a deep run. But with a long season ahead, there is still plenty of baseball left to play. And for all the latest things on IU sports, be sure to tune in each week to Hoosier Sports Night. You can catch it on Fridays on IUSTV. So back to you guys at the desk. Did you watch the national championship game?
Oh, did I watch it? I was really interested in the game. I was rooting for UConn, I can't lie, which made me feel somewhat like a traitor to IU, but I did end up losing my bracket for poor decisions, so I guess that's karma.
Yeah, I don't really follow basketball that much, but that Illinois game was really rough to watch, even if you had no idea what was going on.
Did you know that they have never won a championship before?
Well, it showed.
Oh.
Sorry!
Illinois. Ooh.
Yeah, so anyways, erasing the sports talk because I'm not really good at it. I am good at talking weather, so what can you tell us? Let's get one last check of that forecast this week.
Yeah, guys, like we said earlier on when I was looking at the 7-day forecast, there it is right there. All after today, we get up into the 60s, 70s, very consistent. Might see some rain on Friday, but other than that, you're looking like a pretty good week. Definitely a great weekend ahead.
Perfect. Well, thanks, Jason, and thank you for watching IUSTV News.
For updates between newscasts, check out IUSTV.com and be sure to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and X. We're back here next week. See you then.